This is the semester test study guide for 2024, and we are going to simplify these radicals. So if you'll remember, you can go to y equals, type in 150 divided by x, and then go to your table. And you're looking for perfect square factors. I always say look on this side for your perfect squares, and I see 25 is a perfect square. So I'm going to break that radical into 25 and 6. So we're going to rewrite this as the square root of 25 and the square root of 6. And since we have an x that's not a perfect square, I'm going to put it with the 6 because the 6 is not the perfect square. And the square root of 25 is 5. So this is 5 square roots of 6x. And then we're going to do the same thing with the 54. Go back to y equals. Type in 54 divided by x, go to my table, and again I'm looking for perfect squares on this side. I see 9 and 6, so we're going to split this into the square root of 9 and the square root of 6. Again, I'm going to put the x with the non-perfect square, and that gives me 3 square roots of 6x, and now I can add them together. Because the radicands are the same, we're just going to add the coefficients together. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So this is 8 square roots of 6x as our final answer. For number 2, we're going to do the same thing, but we also have variables involved. So for 20, we're going to go to y equals, type in 20 divided by x, go to our table, and I see 4 is my perfect square. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 and 5, but I also have x to the 5th, and the closest perfect square to 5 is x to the 4th, so I'm going to also write x to the 4th, and that leaves me with an x, and I've got my 10 in front. These are my perfect squares. Those are the ones I can take the square root of. This because it's a perfect square, and this because it's got an even exponent. So the square root of 4 is 2. And the square root of x to the 4th, you're just taking half, so that's x to the 2nd. And that leaves us with 5x underneath the radical. And then we're going to multiply that 2 times the 10, that just comes down. So that's 20x squared, square roots of 5x. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. 45, if you type in 45 divided by x, go to your table, 9 and 5 is what I'm going to choose. So we've got, come over here, 4x is in front. This is 9, and we said 5. And then x to the 3rd, the closest perfect square is x squared, and that leaves me with an x. And these are your perfect squares. That's what you can take the square root of. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared is x. And that leaves us with 5x under the radical. And then you're going to multiply the 4x times the 3x, which gives us 12x squared, square roots of 5x. And we're going to subtract these. Because they have the exact same radical and the coefficients have the same variable, we can actually subtract the 20 and 12. And so that gives us 8x squared, square roots of 5x as our final answer.